This is going to be your weekly tarot and oracle forecast. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies for the upcoming week, break it down day by day, and let you know how to navigate. So as I'm sitting here filming, I'm thinking about what is in the air today. And you may notice that there's this tension, a little bit of neither nor, almost this feeling of like limits is the message, you know, like what are my limits? Like what am I willing to accept and what am I not willing to accept? If you're finding that your mind is going back and forth, a little bit conflicted today, there are some astrological placements in regards to the moon that are making us feel a little bit tense. Now, we are still technically, as I'm filming this, in Scorpio, like the moon in Scorpio, but it is going to shift to Sagittarius, which should be freedom seeking and you know, adventure. But again, there is some tension in the air because Sagittarius energy really likes stimulation. So you might be finding that maybe you're even overstimulated. You know, there could be a bit of this tension of like, oh my goodness, how do I navigate this energy? Now, ultimately, that's not going to last very long because the moon shifts, as you know, very frequently, you know, every couple of days or so, give or take. But if you're feeling right now a little bit of that tension, you're not alone. Okay. Now, something else to note is that Mercury is moving into Aquarius. So as I'm filming this, we're basically at the last degree, which is such a critical degree, meaning mastery of that energy, you know, or of that experience that we recently had the last few weeks with Mercury and Capricorn. So we are going to be shifting Mercury into Aquarius, and I'm really curious to see how this week will go. Now, let's take a look at the overall themes and messages for this week. Oops, I thought that was going to come out, but it didn't. And here we go. The wall, obstacles. This is my point. You might be feeling some need for boundaries, either putting up a bit of a wall, and you might even be thinking about what walls you need to get over or obstacles you need to get over. Okay, because it's kind of happening on both ends. I really do. I've been saying this a lot lately in my lives, and that is sometimes you have to put the shoe on the other foot. You know, for example, when someone nags me for something or pushes me for something, right? I go completely the other direction. I can't stand when people try to push my boundaries or my limits, especially when I say no, especially when I'm kind about it. And I think that, you know, I ask people, put the shoe on the other foot. How would they like it if somebody was pushing their boundaries, telling them what to do, how to live, how to do things, you know? And it happens in so many aspects. It's like family stuff, friends, work, relationships. You know, like if you're in that energy that says, I love you, I love you, I love you, I want to give, and you're trying to convince somebody to be with you and to make this relationship work, imagine for a moment that the shoe was on the other foot and that person was, you know, pushing you and trying to convince you and nag you at something. I think that's kind of the vibe in the air right now. Let me know in the comments if you're feeling this. Like, do you have anybody that's kind of pulling at you? Are you pulling at anybody? What is the song and dance? I'm really seeing the Five of Wands, and the Five of Wands in tarot is a bit of conflict. It's a bit of gossip. It's should I, shouldn't I? And I use the analogy of, let's say, a tug of war. If you've got a tug of war going on, you know, you can't have that if somebody lets go. So if one aspect or one person lets go of that scenario, there is no conflict. So why engage in it? It's only going to get worse or sort of come to a head. And well, sometimes maybe we need that, but there's a respect level there. So I don't know. I get the sense that somebody could be putting up some walls at the same time. Some of you need to get over those obstacles that are pushing you backwards or getting in your way. It really depends on the scenario. But let's take a look at what else we need to know here. Oops, I had a card. Oh, this card just like literally dropped out. Return to your center. I didn't even shuffle. I literally just picked up the deck and it like slid right off. Return to your center. And maybe I'll just take another one just for the sake of like actually shuffling it. But I do believe that was meant to come out. Look at the numbers, 56 and 56. You can't make that up. They're both the exact same number. Well, 5 and 6 is an 11. So 11s are brand new beginnings. So Earth Sheep, return to your center. It's like there's a need for balance is what it is. You know, whatever these boundaries are or limits are. Metal Ox, experience the greatest love. Funny, 38. It's a number 11 card as well. Very interesting. Okay, let's get the other card here. Normally I do 3, but hey, why not? This says creation. Through the darkness I crossed, and still I found myself in the presence of life. You have to go through the dark in order to get to the light. Are you creative right now? Are you thinking about new ideas, sparking new energies to push yourself forward? This is the time to really birth that whole new cycle. It really is. If not now, when? Okay. So I'm going to put these cards to the side and we'll see if they pop up later. But I'm really thinking about this obstacles card. Car. Maybe somebody's got a car that's an obstacle or a car issue. Card with a T. Oh my followers will know the joke. Okay. So I'm going to put these to the side. We have 11, 11, 11. 6 is about equal giving and receiving and balance and harmony. Okay. Now 56 could be an important number for some of you. We shall see. Okay. So let's get into the energies for the week. I'm using these very large chakra cards, so bear with me. They're not the easiest to shuffle, but I was really drawn to them today. So let's take a look at Monday. What do we need to know about Monday's energy? Number 44, awareness, presence. And I don't mean gifts. I mean like presence, being present. Awareness, attention, reality, and connection. You know what's interesting? There's a B here, and there was a B in the reading that I did on Friday, I believe. The relationship reading. You might want to check that out. There might be a connection to this. You know, because we talked about the bee sting in the other video, but bees are about diligence and hard work. You know, maybe it's almost like a little bit of a sting to bring awareness to you in a good way, in a good way. So number 44, we're really getting the angel numbers. Okay, so that's Monday. I want you to be aware and in the present moment. I don't want you living in the past. I don't want you trying to figure out the future. I want you to just be present. On Tuesday, we have insight, understanding, awakening, awareness, self-evaluation. You know, it's interesting. I love these cards because they have the chakra colors on them, you know, and what I think is so important here is that we're getting messages about your intuition and about the downloads that you're getting. Are you understanding the assignment is what I want to ask. Like, are you aware of why these things are happening right now? And maybe that's the conflict. Maybe that's the back and forth of it. So on Wednesday, we have compassion, caring, empathy, acceptance, and gentleness. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle. Have compassion for others. You don't know what somebody's going through. And that's why I was saying earlier about put yourself in someone else's shoes. You know, sometimes we really ignore the fact that other people have lives. You know, I used to always say to my students, I laugh at this comment. I would always tell my students, you know, like your parents were people before they became parents. You know what I mean? Like we think of people a certain way and we forget that they're human. We forget that they're people. And sometimes you got to put the shoe on the other foot. Now on Thursday, honesty, truth, transparency, sincerity, and communication. Look at the throat there with the key, the keyhole. Something may come out that day. Something may come out. You may have to speak your truth, or somebody may speak their truth. Okay, on Friday we have action, movement, perseverance, discipline, motivation. Funny, we've been talking about dancing lately. Like, when was the last time you danced? Take action. I also have been feeling the vibes of, a bit of a song and dance that's been occurring, possibly between two people. And that can be romantically, it doesn't have to be, but that's why I was talking about the, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Like a song and dance in regards to, going back and forth, or the tug of war. Sorry, totally lost my train of thought for a second. It's like something was coming through and I feel like I've got to process it a little bit. Okay, I gotta make some moves. Okay, on Saturday, intelligence, education, knowledge, perception, flexibility. You have all the knowledge to make these moves. They say knowledge is power, but what you do with that knowledge is even more powerful. You can know all the facts. That doesn't mean you communicate it well. Okay, on Sunday, love, kindness, benevolence, sharing, and receiving. Okay, sneak peek at the following week, seeing. I've been talking about this. It's so interesting. I mentioned it, I believe, in the general collective reading that I did for February 4th. I talked about eyes. It's interesting. I've had an issue with my eye recently that I've never really had before. It's very red. One of my eyes is very, very red, and I think I irritated it with some face wash. I mean, side note. But I would just say that it's been really red, and I was Googling the spiritual meaning of red eyes, and it's about, are you seeing clearly, and is there any fear? And it's funny, I've been really reflecting on this because I don't feel fearful, and I don't feel that there isn't truth or clarity. But I know that this is a time where we're going to have to see clearly more than ever. We're going to have to be more aware than ever. We've got to use our knowledge more than ever. We have to have compassion more than ever. Love is the most powerful thing, that you could experience. And there's something about eyes here. Intense eyes. Maybe it's a person. I don't know how to explain it, but let's take a look with the tarot. We've got a few more layers here to do. Anyways, we'll get some ideas. So let's take a look at the crystal visions. I have not used this deck in ages. It was in a box. Here we go. Four of Pentacles. Presence. Some of you are holding back from being fully present. Now, that could be due to anxiety and worry. That could even be addiction. I really feel like somebody's holding on for dear life to the past. And you can be in one of two energies. You can be in survival mode and holding on so tightly like she is here on this tree. Or you could be enjoying the present moment, the sunshine coming in, being stung by this beautiful, essence, sweet honey, making a connection. It's almost like somebody's afraid of making a new connection somehow. Okay, let's take a look at Tuesday. insight, understanding, awakening, awareness, self-evaluation. Okay. Page of Pentacles. We're getting like already tangible things. I'm not surprised. Page of Pentacles is studying, it's learning, it's recognition. There's also an offer here. You know, like, look how she's sitting here, like receiving. She's in, you know, receiving mode. And if you're in receiving mode, the offer will come. So that's Tuesday. Are you in receiving mode? Is receiving mode activated? Now, Wednesday, we talked about compassion. Somebody feels left out in the cold. And again, there's this mirroring aspect. And I dare you to sort of think about this. Are you left out in the cold? Are you feeling left out? Do you feel like there are people that don't have compassion for you? Now, at the same time, how is your compassion? Are you showing caring, empathy, acceptance, and gentleness? And you may say, well, yeah, I'm a very caring person to others. I have a lot of compassion. What I'm really asking you actually is, are you compassionate to yourself? Are you caring to yourself? Like, are you showing yourself love? You know, because how we feel inside is what, you know, exhibits on the outside. Like, if we always say things are never working out for me, well, they're never going to work out, you know? And sometimes, I hate to say this, but you can tell someone's energy very quickly in the way they respond to various things. You know, when they're very quick to judge, or they're very harsh on others, you know, or this never works, or how come I hear this and it never happens for me? Well, you can tell by my tone and the way I'm saying that you can tell there's a reason. And I hate to say that, you know? So are you giving yourself compassion and self-care? Are you nurturing your inner child? Because I'm seeing this like child here. I feel like there's this child that just feels left out of everything and has always felt left out of things. And there's two things you can do about that. You can stay in that energy, or you can get up and go and make some moves to change that. And let's take a look at Thursday in regards to honesty and truth, transparency. 8 of Pentacles. There's work to do. Somebody's working up the courage to speak truthfully, with sincerity. It's in the works is what I want to say. In the works. That's exactly it. Something is in the works. Now, let me just tell you something. All of these cards are pentacles, tangible things. The need for groundedness. Okay, let's take a look at Friday in regards to taking action and movement and discipline. Now we get the emotion. Now we get the emotion, the Knight of Cups. Somebody riding in with that cup of love. And you know what I just noticed? Okay, if you look at the unicorn, there's a spark, you know, like a light. And then look right here, there's the light. We also had that bee. You know what's funny? It's almost like the energy is kind of brewing earlier in the week, and you can see it already shifting. There's the spark here. Friday, you might be dancing. You might be feeling lovey. There might be a motivation coming through you. Okay, let's take a look at Saturday. We have intelligence, judgment. It's a wake-up call. You have a decision to make. Are you in the old? Are you in the new? Are you ready to heed the call? Are you ready for the transformation? Are you ready to implement the knowledge that you have? Because like I said, knowledge is power, but you know, what you do with it is even more important. You have more knowledge than you've ever had. You've got experience. Now it's time to make that move. And maybe this is about love. I mean, the love card here. This is the thing also about love. Let me just make a point. If you hold yourself back from love out of fear, then that means you're not in the feeling of being in love. Like, you need to be in love with yourself, in love with life. And when you're in that vibe of love, you attract love. But if you're feeling like love never works out for you, or love is a terrible thing and I would rather be single and I find every reason to hold myself back, well, you're going to stay in that Five of Pentacles. You have to get better every round you go. What you're willing to accept, what you're not willing to accept, you know? And this is what I was saying about the wall, you know, that card from earlier. Let me go back to it for a second. You know, let's refresh the wall. If you have a wall up in regards to your heart, how does love get in? We want it so badly, and yet we're so afraid to let it in, you know? And sometimes we make obstacles for ourselves just so we can say, see, it never works, you know? And look, just as a reminder, experience the greatest love. But we have to create that energy. We have to create that energy. And how do we get there? By being heart-centered, returning to the center. Well, the center is your heart. Okay, let's see what else we need to know. Ten of Cups, this is what I'm saying. Love, ultimate wish fulfillment. It's one thing to ask for happiness, another thing to allow it. I just want to make a point, like, again, these are all tangible pentacles. And then all of a sudden we get these lovey vibes on Friday and we have a decision to make. It's like we're sparked by love here. And it's like, okay, what am I going to do with it? Do I want this? Yes, I want this, but can I have this? Yes, you can. There's my throat. You got to speak your truth. You got to be honest. Just say you want it. If you want it, that's okay. Don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong with wanting it. Interesting. Seeing the Hierophant is taking the methodical steps. It's spiritual ascension. It's slowly but surely, and it's about commitment. That Taurus energy. You know, it's about committing to yourself, possibly committing to someone else. How badly do you want it? Okay, let's go to the Oracle cards now and see what we need to know. Back to Monday. Why are we holding ourselves back? Wise counsel. Seek guidance from trusted friends or mentors to help you get along. Getting advice. Well, I'm providing that advice for you right now. Are you in the old? Or are you in the new? There's the eyes. There's the eyes. Strong eyes. You know, on Tuesday, hidden keys. Put things together piece by piece to reveal the bigger picture. This is my point. You know, when you're in receiving mode, you will receive the downloads. You will receive the information and you will piece it together. You will recognize in due time. There's so many important parts here at play. Now let's look at that Five of Pentacles, feeling left out in the cold. Worthy goal. Get out and be inspired to keep working towards your life's purpose and fresh ideas. Fresh ideas. You can either stay at the bottom here or you can work your way to the top. And that goes for the cake analogy. If you know the cake analogy, you know. What's worth it to you? Are you worth it? Because I believe you're worth it. You've got to ask yourself, do you want to be in that old held back energy, or do you want to be in something that makes you feel really full in your heart? Okay, let's take a look at Thursday, that Eight of Pentacles, that work. Quiet moments. Seek solace in the silence where clarity finds its true voice. Hear what's unsaid. Communication isn't always just words, right? I think some of you need to sit in your own silence and ask yourself, what is it that you really want? Clarity brings peace. If you don't have clarity, you don't have peace. Are you clear? Are you clear with yourself about what you want? Are you clear with the universe? Okay, let's take a look here. New worlds. Oh, this lovey vibes here with the Knight of Cups. There are many more things for you to discover, so don't give up. There are many more adventures in love. Don't give up. You know, I hear so many people say, I refuse to open myself up. I don't want to try. I don't want to put myself out there. The dating world is crappy. Well, if you believe that, I mean, I know collectively it's not the greatest scene, but it doesn't have to be bad. You know, there's reasons why we have this difficulty. We have more trauma than we've ever seen. You know, we have more avoidance than we've ever noticed. But the more that we become aware of ourselves and work through those things, the better chance you have at achieving what you're looking for in the love department. You're on the right track. You're going in the right direction. So just keep moving forwards, onwards and upwards. It's time. It's time. Okay. And let's take a look here at Sunday. Fully immersed. Everything you want is all around you, just waiting for you to see it. To see it. This is about the eyes and clarity. You can have that happiness. See it, visualize it. It's all perspective. Okay, that sneak peek at the following week, divine flow. Let go of attachment to the outcome and let the universe bring gifts. Are you open to receiving? The Hierophant is spiritual ascension, right? Getting the downloads, the knowledge. Wow. You know, I feel the urge to take a healing heart card here because I kind of feel like there's some need for that. A need for healing. Passionate heart. It says, use your voice to wake up others. You know, again, throat chakra. Use your voice. Adventurous heart. This is my point. Set sail on a trip of a lifetime. Open yourself up. And I'll do one more here. Co-creative heart. Can I just remind you of something? Creation. Creation. Look for clear signs. Number 11. We started with 56, which is 11, and we ended with an 11. Okay, so that being said, let's just take a power of surrender card here to see what you need to surrender or surrender to. Surrender to the wisdom of your body. Listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. I really hope this resonates with you. If you'd like to do a personal reading with me, the link is in my bio. I am launching the Alchemist Book Talk starting February 15th. I know many of you were looking forward to the idea of studying the Alchemist, and I'm going to implement, of course, spirituality and lessons I've learned and cards and so many beautiful things to discuss in this 4-week course. The link is in my website. Thank you again so much. I wish you an amazing week.